What up, all you addicts out there? Welcome to Addicted Fishing Podcast, episode number 14. 14 of these things we've done. Doesn't feel like that many.
I know. I feel like we should be like on number like 36 or
We
38.
should. But we do
kinda...
one and then we wait like 4 weeks and do another one. We're trying to get more consistent.
Oh, man. But it's been busy. We're right in the thick of the fall season right now. Salmon season.
Salmon fishing's been good.
Salmon fishing's been good. Who do we got here tonight with us?
Jordan?
Jordan Carnegie here on the podcast for the first time.
Dude, it is.
Is it really your first
time?
First podcast. It's the first time I didn't have the camera in my face, which is great. So, get to be myself today.
What do you do? What's your story for the guys that just listen to the podcast and
So,
don't follow
I'm Addicted Guide, 168 Fishing Adventures. Fish in Oregon, all over Oregon. And salmon steelhead trips on places that you can't really get to by yourself. Adventure trips. It's awesome. Tributary fishing at its finest. So.
Yeah. If you guys haven't gone out, all you listeners, if you haven't gone on a trip with Jordan, I highly suggest giving him a call because he'll put you in some really fun areas.
Yep, it's a great place to be.
And you run a raft. So
yep, primarily all raft and drift boats. So it's a great way to escape the crowds. And of course, this time of year with closures like we've seen, it's a good way to keep fishing, honestly.
Have you been fishing, I know we don't talk river names, but have you been fishing that other Oregon River that's been getting some coho in it, I heard?
Oh, you know.
No, then.
You need to. I heard
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I heard it's getting pretty good.
Are we talking closer to the ocean or further?
Closer.
Yeah.
Not far from you.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it's been getting pretty good. But aside from that, anyway, there is some coho showing up, and we'll talk about that in the future episode. But we need to talk about this damn Chinook season, which you were out there every day from, 2 months straight?
July 20th when I started out in the ocean.
I don't know how I did
for
this.
coho. I had a couple days off along the way, but then what did we do? We went fishing. I took
chap
you on the both days off. What the hell was I? What the hell was I thinking? No, we started our season July 20th out to just unbelievable flat oceans and just some banging coho. And man, obviously, exactly, we're right into this like kind of cusp between like the A and the B run, and the A runs are bigger than I've ever seen. And I mean, I'm talking back when I was in high school, worked deckhanding on charter boats my junior and senior year. And I mean, those A-run cohos, we were getting some A-run cohos in July that were up to 12 pounds. And that's legit 12 pounds. That's not, I got a 16-pound coho and it may be 10. No, like legit 12-pound A-run or clipped too. It was weird. A lot of the bigger fish were hatchery fish. And so we started out with that, ended up doing that almost all the way through about August 6th, 7th, or 8th because the Kings weren't really into the Columbia. So we just kind of sat out there and 2 fish limits out there and just kept stroking away at them, picked up some sea bass and lingcods on the way.
It looked fun.
We had a ball. It was an amazing start to the season.
Did you see any of those clip fish come inside the big river? Or?
Yeah, there was a few for sure, but it's like I don't know what was going on because out in the ocean it was just so good, and it just seemed like the river coho fishing never really fired off. But then, we got kind of shut out early. We got shut out August 24th. There was a few guys that stayed behind. I came home, and I think I stayed down for one day of coho fishing. Actually, I took Patrick out on that day, your dad, Josh, and his company, and sluiced about 7 or 8 lingcod and a whole bunch of sea bass. And I think we got a keeper coho. We didn't coho fish much, but anyways, we've had a good king season down there, and then came home, and we've been doing this until about 2 days ago yesterday.
Yeah.
When they closed the whole thing. But, going back to like the buoy 10 thing and the A-run cohos, they were huge out there, and they didn't really show up into the river. Like there wasn't a real robust coho fishery, but like I said, we got closed early. They seemed to trickle in, and I think kind of what might be going on and what kind of happened with our upriver fishery is that, our upriver fishery, we had 67, 68 degree Columbia River water late in the month of August, which we don't see generally. You got water that's usually, 71, 72, 73, kind of acting like a little thermal barrier, slowing those fish down. I don't think we had that this year. So I think we were just trucking through. So when everybody moved upriver, to the below the Warrior Rock zone, and then moved up again into what we call the dead zone up to Bonneville Dam, I think that's why we saw the fishing that we did, because those fish were just boogieing. I mean, They were just moving.
Right.
But like I said, it led to fishing that was so good that we caught our damn fish a little too early, and then they downgraded the run a little bit, or they weren't comfortable calling this run at 100% preseason forecast, so they downgraded it to 75%, which then put us over closure and closed us down 2 days early, and that's why I'm sitting in Marlon's garage doing a damn podcast.
Yeah, no, it's the truth.
You would have been here anyway.
I would have been here anyways. I'm diehard, but at the end of the day, like, we had a good season. The fish were nice. We had some nice fish this year. I know you guys all got out on it.
Dude, I can't complain. It sucks. It closed early, but there's other things to go do. I mean, there's plenty of other fish to go chase. Exactly why we live in the Northwest, because you can move into the tributaries.
We got our flip-flop fishing for the year.
Exactly.
That's right. Won't have to wear the sunscreen much anymore, exactly. I bet.
Explain to the people listening out there, though, Cam, a little bit why you talk about percentages and all that. Mm-hmm. I have no clue. None of that makes any freaking sense to me. And so, and I don't think it does to a lot of other people either. Right. It's very confusing.
So in the long and short, the non-scientific, dumb fisherman answer, even though I worked for Fish and Wildlife for 7 years and kind of understand a little bit of it, bottom line is that we have to go off of a preseason forecast that they take a million different variables and they say, look, you guys are going to get 200,000 upriver brights back. Out of those upriver brights, some of them are clipped, some of them are not, some of them are true wild, some of them are tribal. They run a number that says, okay, if you catch X amount of upriver bright fish, you're going to impact the wilds so much, and there's a limit to what you can impact true, wild, your ESA fish, endangered species, what the ones that they're trying to protect. And so once you hit that limit, you're done. And so preseason forecast said for about 200,000 upriver brights. I think it was like 206, whatever. The bottom line is the dam counts were not representing a 200, like we're like halfway through, and they weren't 16. Representing a 200,000 fish run. So they have something called TAC, and I can't remember what it stands for. But basically there's a group of people that,
if you guys are watching on YouTube, comment. Let us know what that stands for.
Yeah, there's a group of people that it's like the technical advisory board or something like that, and they decide what the run's looking like. They take a lot of the factors and variables like water temperature, flows, dam count, sport catch. They monitor our sport catch, and if we're catching tons of fish, they know tons of fish are out there or whatever. They take all that and they kind of say, okay, the run's not looking as strong as it was for preseason forecast, so they downgraded it just a little bit. Well, that little bit. We were fishing like it was going to be a 200,000. Now it's only going to be 160,000 upriver brights.
Yeah.
Not full Bonneville dam count number, but like upriver brights. And so once they downgrade that, and we've been fishing on that 200 all of a sudden, which that's what the fishery is managed for, all of a sudden, now we're over. Back. And so they couldn't even allow us the last 2 days of fishing. And, I know on Addicts and I know on like a lot of places, oh my God. The old Facebook.
How many fish are we going to catch in 2 days?
Oh, man, it's like, it's the freaking end of the damn world. Yeah, it sucks. There's guys that plan vacation. I get it. Trust me, I had guys lined up to go fishing. And
this is so important, though.
It is. And it's like, the problem is, what really hurts, though, is like, we were supposed to be able to go back in the river and go coho fishing.
That's what hurt.
And they had to close everything. And a lot of people don't understand why. It's like, well, we can go. Why can't we go catch coho? Well, first off, the coho runs looking a little weak too, a little under projection, but that's kind of hard. I think that's still a little to be determined. That's me talking, not anything on the reports. But the problem is, if we're already over our Chinook impact, that Chinook wild impact number, even if we go coho fishing out in the Columbia River, we're still going to handle Chinook. And the problem is with handling Chinook, inadvertently, some of them are going to die, even though we're not killing them. Some of them are still going to die just from handling, and they have a mortality rate applied to sport fishermen. I want to say it's like something like 10, 14%, somewhere in there. Like I said, fuzzy math. But at the end of the day, you have to have that, remaining wild impact quota left over to go coho fishing because you're going to handle Chinook. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, since we were already over, they had to close it all, and that's why it really sucks. Because I was really planning on going to some B-run coho. Now, obviously, we're in a state of flux right now, and hopefully Nick actually gets out this podcast in time. I'm going to say that. Nick. Because we're in a state of flux. I don't know. Maybe next week the dam counts show all Sunday, just boom.
blow
And I
up.
think they're going to meet again. One thing I have not heard is it just said until further notice. Usually they'll say, okay, we're going to have another meeting next Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of a tough situation. They have to manage the fishery to those numbers. They have no other choice. That's what they have. And people
So here's the reason I think people get mad, and something you kept saying in the Facebook Live feed the other night is we just need more fish. But it's my understanding that the Columbia River gets stocked with actually a lot of fish.
It does get stocked with a lot of fish. There's no question.
So I don't think putting more fish in the Columbia is going to help.
So there's two ways to look at it, and this is the way I kind of look at it. So you have bad years, you have good years, right? Obviously this year the ocean conditions and the out-migration from this Chinook run right now wasn't good. And we're seeing the effects of that. It
was one of the largest droughts in 50
yeah,
years.
Yeah. This was when all the fish were dying
Yeah.
and they were showing up, and I mean it was bad.
These regulations will save our asses down the road. I
True.
think is
Yeah,
really
we do.
what the
Honestly,
main
We
point
need
is.
fish back. We got to have fish to make more fish.
What was our allocation? How many fish did we
It was
get
like
to kill?
14,000.
We killed a shit ton of fish.
We did. No complaints, really. Like, for how bad the season was supposed to be, we had good fishing.
got
I
to
don't care
kill
what
a lot
anybody
of
says.
Dude,
fish.
every
too.
time I went down to Astoria, I had good fishing. Every
Yeah.
time I went out here and fished, I had good fishing.
I only had like 3 days in Astoria that I didn't limit the boat every day on Kings. And it was probably because I either caught too many toolies or wilds, or we spent too much time bottom fishing, having fun. But at the end of the day, like, we do need more fish. But the problem that I see, and like, when I'm always saying we need more fish, I'm not talking about fall Chinook.
Right.
Because everybody here who's been affected by a couple steelhead runs that aren't showing up anymore, spring Chinook runs that aren't showing up, and fall coho that aren't showing up anymore. And like, we're not running our hatcheries at this maximum capacity. So yeah, this year we had a down ocean, right? Mm-hmm. And we got 200,000 fall Chinook back. But maybe if we were running at full capacity, we would have got 300 or 400.
Well, imagine
we
the
would have
loads of
seen a
fish.
downturn.
Yeah.
Everything's cyclical in this, but the bottom line is I just don't feel like we're running at max. And I know we're not, because
putting
I
more
know what we were
pressure on those
stocking in the
upriver
past,
brights,
and we're
too.
not. What's that?
I said we're putting a lot more pressure on the upriver brights in that case too, because we don't have these lower river fish that have always been caught.
That will
forever.
bring up to my second point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
And
taken
what-
away all that fishery pretty
They're
much. at this
taking
point.
away fisheries, and so then you have another adverse effect, which is why everybody loves to freaking scream about the internet, or scream about fishing addicts, or scream about iFish, or scream about this. Like, what happens is when they lower those runs, we don't get those fish back, and we don't get those plants, and we don't get these fisheries occurring. That lumps everybody into one damn area.
Exactly.
And
You see
then
it on
it's,
our
the
tributaries.
internet, because we'll just call it the dead zone.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's has to fish, but there is no other fishery. You
Right.
can't go down and fish coho.
I know, and it's funny. The first comment I saw today on the internet was, "Oh, great! Now everyone's gonna head to the coast, and all the coastal
They
places."
are. And this is exactly what I'm
It
saying.
doesn't
Life.
matter.
It's like listen.
what they're
If
talking about,
everybody
the tackle
if everybody
shop.
here plays soccer, and this is what the analogy is. If everybody here plays soccer and they close the soccer field, what do you do as a soccer player? You go over to the next soccer field and play. It's exactly what happened. Or, yeah, you go fishing. No, you're a soccer player, Josh, not a fisherman. But what I'm saying is that you close the field, you're still going to play soccer. It's your lifestyle.
Well, it's like
Fishermen are the same thing. So, yeah, guess what, guys? I hate to break it to you down the Oregon coast. You're about to get inundated with everybody. Same thing with the tribs. There's
everybody
no
go-
other place
go to
to
the Oregon
fish
coast.
for.
Yeah.
And so these guys, they want to blame like one entity. They want to blame, that the commercial gill netters killed them all. They want to blame the internet. They want to blame iFish.
lions. They
I
wanna
mean,
blame
the
everything.
Dead Zone
Anything
report on
easy.
iFish had 450,000 views for a fishery that occurred in a week and a half. Like, tell me that didn't show a bunch of people where to go. I mean,
Right.
And
but
those are
that's
current.
it.
Those are current reports. Like literally, people get on there and say, "Fished from here
Every
to
day.
here, used this flasher, caught this fish."
And that's why we do our live feeds there, because at that point, 450,000 views in 2 weeks. What are you gonna do? I mean, you might as well
people
go
are there. The people are there.
People are there, and so people see these buoy 10 effects, and that's not fun. I mean, you make the most of it because you want to play soccer, so you go to the soccer field, you make the most of it. But at the end of the day, we need more soccer fields. We need more fish.
Yeah.
We need more fisheries, and we're definitely at the bottom turn of this cycle. It's going to be tough. Getting through the next couple months is going to be a pain in the ass. And unless some fish start really rolling in, we're going to probably see, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more restrictions down the road. I mean, in some of these tributaries.
Well, especially up here, north of the Columbia, especially, I think it's going to be somewhat frustrating in all regards because you're going to see everybody pressured into certain areas, which the communication between anglers, I don't think is a negative effect. Because I think that's what will save this whole situation is everybody talking. Because if everybody still kept it a big secret, nobody would know there's a problem.
It's a double-edged sword because without fishermen and without people that are advocating for the fish and without the license sales, I mean, the state already holds no accountability to the fishermen as it is, and it's proven in everything freaking they do. And I'll just say that till I'm blue in the face. But at the end of the day, like, we don't have fishermen, we don't have fish.
Yep.
So here we have this situation where, we need people involved in a sport that this year, fortunately, hopefully it's only this year, is that this is just going to be the tight and the tough of it.
We saw it coming a long ways away.
Everyone
saw it coming 5 years ago.
Yep, everyone did. And I mean, it's, like I said, it is what it is. And, like I said, you make the most of it. You go to the soccer field, you play soccer. Yeah, there might be 300 people there taking turns on it, but you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's our lifestyle. It's what we do.
Well, the thing is even when, was it 2 years ago when there was 1.5 million, there was still that many people fishing that same exact area, and everyone was...
Well, but except for the seasons went a lot longer,
But still, right there at the dead zone, there was still zillion people right there.
There was when the fishery, when it closed, but keep in mind that fishery stayed open past... It was open until the 20th. It was open until the 15th last year, and then it stayed another week for hatchery only. I mean, it was open until September 21st, and by then, when those closed off, the dead zone was still busy, but at the same time, you could have gone to the tributaries in because it was so much later in September. So like this year, it's definitely having a
a big pause.
Definitely a little bit of an effect right now. Really. Even to where like I'm like gonna go scout some new water that I don't usually fish. I'm gotta go check it out and do my part. We got some sturgeon openers coming, and I got to change it up a little bit. Definitely got a curveball this year, but you're gonna take it in stride and go fishing. I mean, it definitely brings a little bit of a call to action, though. And there's been talks like not on the Facebook forums, that I've had with a couple people that know some of our legislators and stuff like what can we do and stuff like that. I think just as a whole, like the sport community still just needs to come up with a plan. Still needs to figure it out.
Well, and it's something that again, just like you said, should not stop getting talked about.
No.
On the river, off the river, in an office.
The problem is fishermen are really good at talk.
Yeah.
People I saw a couple posts today. People, why don't fishing addicts do something? You guys have the voice. I'm like, you know what? You're right. We probably touched 200,000 anglers in Oregon, Washington. There's 1.8 million, but we touched 200,000 of them, between all our outlets. And at the end of the day, though, out of those 200,000, only half of them are probably salmon steelhead anglers.
Right.
And only about 20% of them would actually be anybody that would actually do anything about it.
Yeah.
And out of that, they'd probably only get about 5% of them to show up because that's fishermen.
Well, think of it this way. One fact that I always fail to bring up in conversation is exactly what we're talking about now is what got us here with the closures of the hatchery. People sat down and had these conversations, but took the action necessary to make it happen, to shut down the hatcheries, to see the river the way they thought it should be. So that being
you're
said,
talking NSF and you're talking some of these situations where
big
the
lobbyist groups, exactly, and
the feel good politics that does not work.
No,
pick your
and
science.
We've seen it. They got their chance. Obviously, it did not work. There's certain ways and there's science that stands behind ways that hatcheries can be run these days. That I'm gonna say it, broodstock. Hands down, use the right genetics, and the river and the fish will come back. You don't have to use this.
Yeah, I mean, like I got in a little heated argument with a guy too, because all he wanted was the Chambers Creek steelhead, the early run steelhead, and stuff like that. And we can take this into a million different directions right now, so we'll try to make it short and sweet. But at the end of the day, we probably shouldn't be dumping a bunch of non-native genetics into a bunch of different rivers. Fine,
so true.
I get it, but you know what? There's so many prime examples of steelhead and chinook that are being used for and some that are forthcoming too. That I don't know if we can even really talk about.
Right,
on here
exactly. We shouldn't.
They're being done right now.
Yeah,
and it's good that they're being done right now. That some hatchery managers and program people are stepping up.
Driven people,
yeah. Fishermen that have finally gotten in the right places that are creating some broodstock programs that, like you said, we don't even want to talk about because we don't want to jeopardize what they have going on.
Right.
And it's pathetic that it has to be that way. But at the end of the day, we probably shouldn't do Chambers Creek, but look at the Quinaults, look at the Queets, Nez Pierce, look at Tillamook.
Well, even pristine,
Wilson.
Right.
I mean, you got
pristine rivers across the world don't have hatcheries, and they still don't have that many fish. So we have those around here, but there are some that should have that amount of fish, and it's healthy for that river to have that. There's enough room for those fish.
And I don't care what NSF and these guys say. You know what? The
It's
pipe.
NFS.
Whatever. A bunch of feel-good
Society of
politicians
Fishes.
that, anyways, but all I got to say is at the end of the day, the hatcheries are there because Portland's not disappearing.
No.
Vancouver's going nowhere. Logging's going nowhere. Pollution's going nowhere. We have to make up for development. I just call it development.
God, that is like the
supports a
number
lifestyle of
one thing
caring.
I will never understand.
Yeah.
It's
That
like
we
you have
don't
all
attack.
this logging, you have all this development, you have all these Stortals is a perfect example. They've
Yeah.
literally mined our river. They've taken all the water out of the ground, and historical water temperatures have gone up over 10 freaking degrees because of what they've done. You can't ever recover from that. It will
Exactly.
never go back to the same, ever.
So at the end of the day, what do you have? So you have a situation that, you have these groups that want to fight for these wild fish, and it's like, that's fine. But over the last 30 years, you've done nothing. You've put, in that particular river, you put 250,000 smolts every year.
Well,
and
no,
you
can't
bolstered.
just sit back and say, let them do
No,
what
exactly.
they're going to do.
You
have to
bolstered the
do other
predator
things.
population. Shit, you grow the whole damn sea lion mammal population from 30,000 to 300,000 in the last 20 years. Good job, state. Then what do? You cut a bunch of freaking plants. And so now you put all the weight of that predation, you put all the weight of that development on your wild stocks.
Yep.
And you and I have seen it the last
we've
2
already
years.
seen it.
It has absolutely crushed the wild steelhead population, because I will tell you that because we've been fishing those things. I've been fishing those things for 15 damn years, and they are freaking gone. Like, they are not what they were. And yeah, we could be seeing this downturn of the steelhead, but guess what? All I know is that those broodstock programs in Tillamook, they sure kicked ass this year on supposedly a bad ocean.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you have these situations where you need to freaking make up for the development. You need to put fish in water. And if I had my druthers, and if someone gave me $1 million right now, I mean, I know that like that Tillamook anglers, that's all sport driven money. Like, that whole thing is nothing. That the cost,
Not an
I mean,
accident.
it's all donation. It's all like self-funded, correct?
I don't know, but if that's
I've heard that's what it is.
Steelheaders
No, it
are
is.
huge across the state.
I'm sure it is.
What's that?
That's steelheaders, at least. Of
all I
course, are a
know
big
is
part
if
of that as
anyone
well.
out there is running broodstock programs for steelhead or coho or anything like that, and they need addicted landing nets to help them do that,
Oh, yeah.
reach out to us. Reach out to us. Send us an email.
But even then,
we'll get them in your hands.
Reach out to us and let's go have a freaking steak dinner on Addicts, and let's try to figure out, let's try to really do something with that. Because like I said, I mean, I would love to see Addicts get to the point where we could touch about 500,000 people. And then when we say, guess what, guys, we've got permission to start, an up and coming broodstock program. We need X amount of dollars. We need X amount of manpower. Once we get that big, then I feel like we could do it and would be
Oh, hands
successful
down.
at it, because
Yeah.
that's one thing that I
wouldn't be a
think would
question.
kill us, is that if we got involved and we didn't have success in the first endeavor that we tried to do, then that's just an excuse for the lazy fat ass fishermen for the next time to be like, oh, it didn't work the first time, I'm not going to try this. That's exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, in case in point, last 25 years. Thank you. So,
Mic drop.
yeah, it's just, sorry, mic drop. Yeah, because that's exactly what's happened. I mean, it's what happened. We lost all these runs of hatchery fish. We lost all these situations, and there was nobody there.
No
nothing
recovery
there
plan.
to take up the slack.
Yeah.
And now, like I said, what's it take? A bunch of orcas dying in the Puget Sound for us to realize, oh, yeah, we better throw some fish in the water.
Yeah.
I mean,
might
what
be a
did you
bit
think was
hungry.
going to happen?
Yeah.
And now, we've had a bad year now, but what if we have now you look at a situation where let's
What
just
if we
take
had
our
major
Homer.
flooding this fall?
What if you
every
have
egg
something
got washed down the river?
catastrophic? You have depressed numbers right now that you're not bolstering that natural genetic, and something catastrophic happened in the region. Like you said, massive floods, landslide, choked out, silted out some river. Now I think you're in real danger of losing, like I said, I might be completely wrong on that, but I just feel like if you're getting less and less fish, and then when you have one of those bad years and then you get something really bad that happens, then
Compiling
what?
on top of that, yeah.
I mean-
Prime example, look at Central Oregon. One of the best rivers in the world is on its face right now, and it's getting some fish back, but the last few years it's been a complete disaster zone because of very, very small human errors on the river, and it's turned into what it is. So there's examples right there in front of us already, yeah.
Well, and then there's examples too of where we're just leaving a river alone and letting the wild has not worked. I mean, and
Yeah.
there's some that are directly just right above Bonneville Dam, and a lot of people go back to, because right there, that run is still it's down, and it's still it has its good years and bad years, like everything. I mean, like I said, we got 1.6 million Chinook on just about what we planted this year and only got 200,000 back. But at the end of the day, I just feel like you don't have the effort and you don't have the accountability for these fisheries to occur hanging on the state.
Right.
And yeah, it's the feds, and yeah, it's this, but you know what? They say it's the feds and they say it's stuff, but yet when an orca starts dying in the Puget Sound, all of a sudden with the stroke of a pen, here comes 10 to 30 million more egg take on fall Chinook smoke.
They say it's the feds, but there sure is a lot of cannabis stores rolling up around Washington and Oregon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my Coast Guard license still says that I have to
true.
belong to a drug consortium, and I can't be partaking in the whatever those stores are popping up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I'm just saying though, like that's a prime example.
Exactly.
It's like if we needed something to happen, we could make it happen.
Yeah, no, definitely needs the right focus, the right people,
the right focus, and it's stupid because at the end of the day, we're not the sleeping giant. We're the sleeping hurricane. I mean, like, we're 1.8 million strong in the state of Washington and Oregon. It's like 1 million anglers in Washington, 800,000 in Oregon. Let's talk about guide numbers. I think there's like 1,000 in Washington and like 700 in Oregon or something like that.
Yeah.
We can't muster a group that doesn't have more than like 2,700 freaking. I'm just talking. I don't want to poke names, but I just know some of the numbers of enrollment for like some of the other conservation groups. Like 2,700 people. Really?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, come on.
That's not right. That's not
It's
fair.
dumb. It's dumb. And then you have groups fighting with each other. Like there's a group that's around our area, and some of the stuff that I read that they put out, I guess there's a reason why there's like 30 people in it, but it's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because they'll sit there and they'll rail on another group because of one little bullet point that they don't like, that they hate the other 80% that they do, the other 90%. It's dumb.
Yeah, they let it ruin
It's
it.
dumb. So, like I said, if you guys out there listening, like, sorry for the rant, the bearer of bad news and all that crap. But at the end of the day, like, if you know anything about broodstock programs or getting them implemented or trying to find some money to maybe sue the pants off of freaking some of these groups, or, because I mean, there's got to be like some, situations out there where there's hardships and stuff like that have been brought on by just poor management.
Oh man, upper Willamette.
Yeah, there you go.
We talk about gill nets all the time, but I mean, I imagine those guys are working for their livelihood. There's got to be something they could bite on as well to sue the pants off somebody.
That's a tough subject too. I mean, whether you talk gill nets, tribal guides,
Start throwing the S word around.
Yeah, it's just I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, that's the dumbest thing in the world.
All I know is gill nets do not belong in the river.
They don't belong in the river.
No. Period. Get them off.
Okay.
If there's wild steelhead
that's
in
what
the
I was
river,
gonna say.
they don't belong.
Yeah, sacrificing
Period.
wild.
And there's wild steelhead in the Columbia River 365 days a year.
Yes and no.
No, there is.
Okay, fine, there is. But
down or up.
Yes,
right.
they're going down or up. Get those guys out of the freaking river. Period. Why are we the only river left in the entire world that allows it?
I don't know. But all I know is, like, you're right. I don't think sacrificing ESA wild steelhead to take a few more hatchery Chinook should not happen. And there is times that they can be way more less impactful and use gear restrictions that are way less impactful. But that needs to be monitored and needs to be observed.
Why we don't just push them into the Youngs Bays fisheries?
Well,
and
that's
things
what was
like
supposed
that.
to be happening, and that's
how it should be.
that's how what was supposed to happen.
That's
according
what
to
it
the
should
kids'
be.
plan, and now it's kind of definitely going backwards, and I think it's because people aren't paying attention.
No, that's just it.
And people are ripping. I mean, I'll say this because CCA, I don't care what anybody says, CCA started that process before the kits plan. They got the ball rolling on that, but now, they even get beat up because the plan didn't come into effect. But shit, look, the state on this. I mean, for God's sake.
Yeah.
If you think the state's
Imagine
managing
being a
it
fly
right,
on that wall.
My goodness. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not necessarily, I mean, I just wish there was just so many fish and we had, such a good, robust broodstock programs in some of these troubled, steelhead areas that, we could absorb that.
Yeah.
The development could absorb that.
I guess at the end of the conversation, the main problem is the lower Columbia. Upper Columbia is fighting tooth and nail to even keep us alive, but this lower Columbia area, the Southwest Washington and Oregon, that, runs tributaries of the Willamette that are seeing absolutely no fish come back from lack of management, not from overfishing, because there's never been,
Really
there's not more people fishing now than there ever has been. That's
There's
a
actually
damn
less,
guarantee.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
The license sales have decreased.
It's crazy to think that.
So it's
But I don't
definitely
blame
this
them. I don't
lower
blame
section.
anybody for why.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, right? Would you want to deal with this shit on a daily
There's
basis?
millions of fish that aren't showing up to this section of Washington.
And it's a tough year, but like I said, if you take your eyes off fall Chinook and you look at like what's going on with steelhead.
Yeah,
and
quit
you look
looking at
what
Bonneville
could-
counts.
and
That'll
you
really
look
tell
what
you the
could
story.
be going on with steelhead. Like I said, a prime example, look at Tillamook. Like we've got
Well, we
some,
used to have good runs, even when they only put 60,000 fish in the river. The runs that came back were fun, incredible runs.
Yeah, I think a lot of that. I mean, I don't think you would with a 60,000 fish plant in a river. You probably wouldn't be experiencing a fun, robust fishery just because of ocean conditions this year. But it would be
Regardless.
better. It would be better.
Regardless,
It would be better.
When they put 60,000 summer run in our local river,
Yeah.
the fishing was incredible. We can't even catch a summer run now.
There is.
You literally can't even catch one.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. They're not even there, and the river's closed now.
Well, because they're not there.
Yeah. Which I was.
And like I
always
said, and that's the problem.
people always
NFS,
told me, "Oh, they're going to close the river. And I'm like, no, they'll never close it.
And these
It'll
native-
always be open. And now look what they did.
Yeah,
They closed
yeah.
it.
Who was right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what though. You look at these NFS people. These native fish. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. And then all of a sudden, like you said, the state doesn't want to fight the lawsuit because they got to spend $100,000 to fight the lawsuit. But then what's the state really losing? Well, then they don't have to plant that 100,000 smolt. So they save the cost on that. They save the lawsuit
They
on
lose
us.
on
so
so
then
many
they don't
levels.
have any accountability to us. So they say screw it
I
and then
gotta
let
say
it go.
though, how many NFS stickers have you seen in the last year and a half?
I hope I don't see one. because
Exactly.
If I do, it ain't gonna be
It's
pretty.
hilarious how the people that
I will
really
say it
kinda
was
back
funny
that-
one day.
Because they're all hidden.
It's all crickets
I
now.
will say one day I was floating. I don't know if I can say this river name or not, but I was floating a river and I saw, what was that, Bill Benenke or whatever his name? He was floating in a drift boat behind me and I got in front of him and they were fishing on a hatchery run. Weird. Isn't that crazy? They were fishing on a hatchery.
you told me
unpure,
that.
and I went down and every angler I saw on the bank, I told him, I go, hey, be sure to thank that drift boat right there because that's old NFS right there. You thank them for what's going on. And I told every angler on the way down the river. I bet they had a fun time.
There was huge signs on the river I work on. It was great. People were trying to tear them down all the time. Thanks NFS.
yeah.
Go ruin someone else's river.
Yeah.
Luckily, we kind of won a little bit.
Let's just leave that one alone. But yeah, you guys are doing some good work, and that was super cool hearing what you guys were doing, and that's hopefully will be more of the future. I mean,
Well,
I'm
it's a
gonna
great
be doing.
example, just like the coast. It's a great example for people to follow off of, and it's the science just has to be there to back us up.
Well,
That's just
I mean,
it. So they're compounding
like I
data,
said,
basically.
Like I said, there's a reason
on-
why there's
on the
80 drift
coastal-
boats floating down some of those rivers, and because it's the only soccer field. I mean,
Yeah.
it sucks, and I hear about it. People, oh, well, there's 80 boats. Well, because they actually have a robust fishery, and that's the only soccer field in town.
Yep.
So it's just the way it is. But at the same time, if we had 45 other soccer fields going on, we'd be good to go. It's just crazy. And like I said, if one day if that's what addicts can contribute to this whole freaking
Right.
fishing world and fishing industry and help our partners and our manufacturers and our fishermen and our beginners and our kids, then that's where we need to go.
Yep.
So-
We just have to stick together. Everybody's got to keep communicating into the future.
We got
Only a couple years left. It's gonna happen.
yeah.
We'll have them back.
We got to figure out a plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else is on the list?
I don't know. I'm depressed now. I want to just drink beer and go home.
Go get some fried chicken.
Why fried chicken?
I don't know, dude. That's what I had for dinner.
Oh my God.
So what are we looking forward to then? We have fairly good coho numbers coming.
Supposedly.
It was a really good year 4 or 5 years ago. So I mean, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
It'll be good.
Yeah, I think so too. We get a little rain.
We're
you
getting
know.
a great shape. Season's shaping up. I don't see anything in the forecast that says it's supposed to get really hot. You know, it's supposed to stay cool, stay drizzly every couple of days. So, I mean, they're going to come in as much as they can.
Yeah, what can be coming? You know, we definitely aren't going to see any of these situations where like we had like lethal temperatures. You know, we didn't
Yeah.
get any of that this year. I think the fish were moving. You know, I really do. I think the fish definitely were cruising up the river. Like you said, cloudy, cold. We'll start to see some of our local creeks and tributaries coming
Well,
up.
now I feel like there's pretty good coho numbers over the dam right now. Wouldn't you say? I mean,
I think
it's
they said
on
it was
track.
they said it was only like 69% though of forecast.
Now I don't think good numbers for Chinook. I looked today, 260,000 Chinook by now. Like that's. I mean, we should have had close to that many go over in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Let alone be the entire
only have
run
like
since what is it?
120,000.
They changed on August 1st.
It's only 117,000.
What?
Yeah. You might be looking at total.
And that's total. And that's
I
yeah,
was
you-
looking
you-
at total,
you were
but that's
looking at the
from
total for the
August
year.
1st?
Fall
Yeah.
is only
No, you were looking at
117.
Springer and summer.
Spring or summer.
Okay, I thought
Yeah.
they switched it.
Fall is only 117,000.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see
So
it.
you think
Yeah.
back to like 4 years ago, that's like.
That like a week.
We saw
literally a week.
117,000 in 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane.
I think it'll bounce back though. I mean,
It will.
We
These
get better.
runs always do.
Better ocean conditions.
Well,
We're
it's
in that
funny to
bottom
see
of that
how,
hole right now.
how
We're
just a
gonna have to
little
bounce
bit of
back.
help
It
on some
happens.
rivers, like what you see up on the Olympic Peninsula. They take a dam out. 6 years later, it's one of the best runs they see. And to the extent where you're gonna get to fish for them.
Well, I think the
you know
only
what I
one
mean?
in this podcast that actually fished during that spring season when you didn't get to fish was maybe Cameron, right? And you guys.
Oh, I mean, if you're gonna,
we
yeah,
went
if
through
you're-
a
if-
lull
if-
and we
I-
came back. I mean,
Well-
we're gonna come back. It's like ocean conditions are gonna come back.
Yeah, I mean, ocean conditions now. But I mean, you're talking like back prior to 2000.
Yes, when it was.
Yeah, when there was no
non-existent.
fishery. Yeah, in the 90s. I mean, and
Non-existent.
at the end of the day, like, you look at the numbers and even this year's forecast is supposed to be stronger than almost
Yeah,
all
but
the
all
fall
those
Chinook.
tribs were good back then.
Well,
That's
yeah,
when
but
you
I'm
were
talking
trib fishing.
I'm talking the whole as a whole, like the Bonneville count. You look at this, and then I love seeing this report where they're like, "Oh yeah, this year's forecast is only 46% of the 10-year average." Well, the 10-year average also had 3 million plus fish freakazoid record-setting years. So you can't. But like I said, you look back at what was going on in the 90s, and it was beyond terrible. So this
Nothing
year,
like
like I
what we're even
said,
seeing
at the end of the
now.
day, I don't have any complaints, but I just see the frustration in everybody, and just knowing that I just in my gut, it's like I think it could be better.
Don't you-
I think we should be doing something to make it better.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it too is like people. It was a totally different generation then. Like nowadays, like people just want this instant gratification. I want to go out and catch fish today. If I don't
No,
catch
there's
fish,
definitely that element.
Oh yeah,
I think that has a lot to do with it too, and that's why you get a lot of this complaining as well. Like,
well, that's why we do the no river names thing, and we just don't try to focus what we do on a lot of
Yeah.
reporting.
That's why we
Just,
stick away from the reports. and stuff.
Educational. Yeah.
It's I don't mind teaching the younger generation, to fish and
No.
to help them out, because guess what? Those are the guys that when I'm retired and my son's fishing and all that crap.
but you think back to the '90s, and the guys then that were fishing would have been ecstatic to fish on
oh
what we
yeah,
have now.
no
Like,
question.
and nowadays, it's 116,000. That's
We
nothing.
didn't even
Like,
have a summer
There's a
Chinook
lot
run
of fish.
prior to 2006. We didn't
No.
even have a sockeye run prior
And
to
then
2010.
when we hit this year, like almost 100,000.
no, our
summers.
first year we fished
What are
springers
you
was
doing?
the year 2000.
Stop
I'm not doing
clicking
any-
the box around.
That was his
I
phone.
just picked my phone up.
What are you doing?
61,000 summer Chinook this year.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Like I remember when it was way less than that.
Well,
It could be
nice if
so
there was,
much
like,
more.
260
I was gonna. There's
cars.
just so much.
Say,
It's the
it could
Columbia
always be
River,
better, and I feel
Oh.
but like I said, it'll be interesting because, like I said, the bad ocean conditions, blah blah blah. Tillamook broodstock program still shine. It'll be interesting to see what they get this year, because if they have another just good, solid, decent year down there, then I mean, there's your writing. It's right there, proof positive. Broodstock.
And why are
programs
we
work.
why are we not going after that? Like I don't understand why the states are holding back from that. They don't feel like it's justified.
There's nobody in place that
They're
cares.
probably afraid
other
to
than
get
us.
sued.
because we don't have
Yeah.
a sportsman in place.
Well, they saw what happened. Again, it almost happened in Oregon on multiple rivers. Same with the coast. Same with inland a little ways, where we actually fought back, and the Supreme Court was smart enough to rule on the side of they saw the detrimental effects of shutting things down like that, and they held back from it. They asked the scientists to do their job and do it better and make these runs more proper in the areas that they should, and it worked. And look what's happening. But I think that came
So
from people
you think
caring.
that the precedent would be set to where we should be able to
The-
move that
yeah, you
across
think
the
they'd be
board?
opening
in a court of
eyes.
law, there is no way that they could say no. It just there has to be somebody in place to take that action in Washington, and I don't.
Cameron for mayor.
I don't know the structure in
Cameron for mayor.
Washington. You know,
The problem is you got to give me a bunch of lawyers, dude. I don't know.
money.
I don't know.
We literally, that's the thing.
No, we need a
That's what-
plan. We need. You need. You know what you need to do.
money.
You
Money
need to find
drives
out
the world.
who took that to
Exactly.
court.
yes.
That's what you need to do, Jordan. That's your homework for tonight.
Homework tonight. It'll happen. I'll do it.
Go write an essay.
That's what needs to happen, and start that process. Find
get 'em on the river.
out where we won, and find out what got that program put back into place. And yeah,
They're easy questions to answer. Yeah.
Just imagine if you had that program on every single river.
Well, look at the Snyder Creek program.
because
that was in the
challenge.
Olympic Peninsula.
I've
We'd
always
be
kinda-
talking about
Look at the
what lure
stronghold
worked
in our
best today.
backyard.
That's what we'd be doing.
not a
Exactly. And
stronghold.
that's what I was
That's
saying.
what's
That's what I was
scary.
saying. I was like, I'm always like, I'm like waiting for the one day for some WDFW federal employee, like, oh, we would do this, but we just don't have the manpower or the money. Challenge accepted. Like
Here, pull
the
my leg.
first day. The first day. Could you imagine a GoFundMe set up by Marlon Lefever's marketing prowess, like for a broodstock program somewhere? Yeah, it'd
we
be
should
pretty
do
fun.
it. God, we should do it. It'd be so awesome. It would be.
That
so
would be the
awesome.
program to go after, not go to the state and fight for stuff. The program to go after would be broodstock programs across the state. They've proven themselves in Oregon.
Yeah.
You have backing based off that data.
Yep. Like
Yeah,
I said,
but
we need to talk to that person.
Our rivers are. They're not the same.
What are you going to broodstock at this point?
They're not the same. Like our river's a wild gene bank river. So basically, the federal government came in and said, "You cannot touch this river. You can't do anything with it. Leave it the hell alone. Don't put anything in it. Don't touch it. Don't do anything with it."
After how many
And on
years
top of that,
of
they
planting?
decrease the amount of fish that get released in the other fork to make it so they don't stray into this fork. The science behind it is absolutely ridiculously idiotic. It makes no sense.
But they still
Not
continue
even-
to
it's
log
just
in the
ignorant.
upper river.
But even
and
Exactly.
all that other
But
crap
even,
that
yeah,
they
but
do
even
that-
then, yeah. So you don't make up for the development at all on that river, and you put all the strain of all that on the wild stocks.
yeah.
Crazy. But then again, but
They
you
chose 5 rivers in Southwest
but-
Washington that they did that with.
but you also have to think too. Like there are other
Who wrote
rivers
that
though.
paper?
There are other rivers though. Like don't focus. Maybe you will lose the battle there,
Yeah.
but you might win it somewhere else.
And somewhere else, I agree. But then what do you have? You
Well,
have what's
then-
happening
then
in the
you-
coast. You have 150 drift boats on one river.
True.
Yeah.
Because that's the only river that is getting
Yep.
any sort of fish back. The same thing is going to happen. That's what used to happen on, I'll just say the river name because it's already well known, the Cowlitz. You know why I grew up and never went on that river, even though it had fish runs of 1 million
Stacked
fish?
with people.
Because I wasn't going to go deal with people yelling at me and just being just jerks because everyone is on one mother effing river.
So here's the situation though. But what if you had 3 or 4 Cowlitzes?
It should
in
be
Southwest?
every river. We should
well,
be
you might not get
broodstocking
that.
every mother effing
Why not?
river.
When the data's there. That's what
I agree.
I don't
but
understand.
I'm just saying, if you lose that battle with the feds, you at least make 3 or 4.
And I agree.
start
I mean,
some-
I
you
say
start
we should,
somewhere.
Exactly.
Momentum.
We should start somewhere for sure. I agree. With that being said,
I'm over it.
we need to talk more positive things. So
Yeah.
in the next
Hey.
episode, I think we need to talk tribs and coho and where people can go to find fish, even though we are having
Specific river names coming at you.
some. No.
Well, Marlon already dropped one, so he's fired.
Yeah,
I'm kicking him out of Addicts. He's done.
But no, I think there's a lot to look forward to.
I think it's going to be
the
a
Columbia's
great
closed,
fall.
but
it sucks that you
there's
guys
also
lost
way
as
more to
much
do.
time as you did because it's not fair to all fishermen, but again, it's necessary. So keep thinking positive.
But like I said, everyone wants to
Marlon just
blame it on
said.
the actions of this year, and it's like this was baked 4 years ago.
Oh, we knew
this
it was
baked
coming.
4 years ago. So you
And it's honestly
you
not
know,
as bad as we thought it was.
And if we
gonna
don't
be, so.
start doing stuff now, then 4 years from now we might be seeing the same damn situation. And
Definitely not
you
as bad
gotta
as
it could
think-
create a huge speed bump
Exactly.
in the next 20 years of fishing. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play. And thanks for coming, Jordan,
Yeah,
Josh.
thanks, guys. It was fun.
I think you might see him in episode 15.
Yeah. We'll be here.
Yep.
We'll be here,
And
guys.
our next episode, we're going to
We
talk,
talk
some
a
trib
lot of
fishing.
tributary fishing. Yep. Get
Tasty
ready.
coho.
See you guys on the river.
Later, guys.